Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Devin Thomas back with another episode of Unscripted. It's been a good week. It's been a long, chill week. To be honest, I kind of took it easy this week. Stevie's still not feeling 100%, but he's on the way. And the reason I even start with that is that kind of dictates the rest of my week. He's been kind of staying at my parents' house, out in kind of the countryside of Salinas. And yeah, he's just been trying to feel better, obviously. Kind of stopped trying to try all the like different medical remedies per se. And he's going with a more like just relaxation, chill wellness vibe, eating big, just relaxing, sleeping, as much as possible. And yeah, like we still don't really know 100% what the deal is. He went and saw one of our like family doctors and he was like, did blood tests and everything. He's like, nothing yet. And he's like, probably not going to be anything. He's like, maybe you just like, we think it could be a chiropractic issue. It could have been so many different things. But yeah, he's just kind of like, dude, like, I think we just kind of wait it out and see if you just get better naturally. Because there's not really anything wrong, but there is something wrong. Obviously, there's like muscular skeletal pain. I'm not a doctor, so like I can't speak on it that professionally, but that's kind of like what we think the real core of the issue is. And anyway, so we've been going back and forth between my parents' house and then our primary residence, right? Because I live with Stevie and Christine in town, and then my parents live out in like the countryside. So it's been interesting. I've been like going back and forth between town. It kind of reminds me of living out there because I used to just, you're growing up, you fucking have to drive into town for everything, like go to Nob Hill, go to your friend's house, whatever. And I used to be so used to driving. And I remember when I moved to LA, people would bitch. They'd be on like the other side of town. Like let's say I was in Hollywood. So let's say like Hollywood and Vine. And somebody was in like fucking Venice, they'd just be like, I'll see you when I see you. Like people just don't drive across town. Like it's funny because I had another friend that lived in Torrance and I would actually drive to his house often. And it would be like an hour and a half to get there in the middle of the fucking day just because of traffic. It's a 20-minute drive at night. But that's what I'm saying. So like it depends on where you're headed, whatever down there. But that's besides the point. Getting back to like driving even just like fucking 25 minutes every day or 20 minutes every day, dude, I forgot how much I used to drive and how little I drive now. Because when you live in town, dude, it's a hop and a fucking skip. You can literally, I could walk downtown, go to a bar, walk home. Like it's so close. And it's kind of nice, but it's also like, I don't know. I used to be a road warrior. I'm realizing it now because I drive back from LA frequently, at least like once or twice a month, right? I just didn't care. I was like, fuck it. Like nothing's going on this weekend or this week, whatever. I'm headed back home. And yeah, dude, I do 8 hours of driving on a weekend, just like nothing. And now I think of like an 8-hour drive. I'm like, dude, I don't think I'm ever trying to drive fucking 8 hours unless it's like a planned road trip or something. And it's, it's just funny. I was just thinking about that. But anyways, it's been nice to go back to my parents' house and chill. Stevie's getting the royal treatment if I can be real. My mom's like making him cookies and fucking breakfast. I think she's happy to have him. But that being said, I think it's good for him. I think it's what he needs, to recover. A little bit of comfort never hurt, and it probably goes a lot further than you'd think. But yeah, so we've been doing that. They've been making cookies, eating like pumpkin pie. They're in full on like holiday mode already, which it's nice. It's supposed to rain this week too, and they got a huge fireplace, so maybe we'll pop a fire in there and just chill. I feel like our indirect stay at their house is not over yet. I think we were over there even yesterday, the night before. It's also been nice. I've had like the chance to like be at home just completely fucking alone, which is chill, but it's also like you think you're gonna like it more than you're bored. You're like, fuck, like what am I gonna do? So I've been burning through like Game of Thrones and just fucking chilling, hanging out at the house, writing, working on some pizza business. I got this fucking secret pizza hat. I tried to have it so I could like put it in the bio of this video today, but unfortunately I did not have time to set it up. I was trying to do it before this and I was like, fuck this. Like I'm just wasting time. I might as well just get to the pod, but I'll pop it online so you guys can like check it out if you want. Like I said, you don't have to buy it, but if you can't eat the pizza and you want the hat, that option's there. Anyways, yeah, secret pizza also, like, just to touch on that note, I'm gonna do the fucking hard launch soon. I have the menu, everything ready to go. It was really just like, I was even making pizza this week for like my family and friends. And my rate of production could be a little faster. I'm afraid of like doing a pop-up on like a Saturday and just not being able to fucking produce the amount of food. Cause I feel like, let's say it's 50 pizzas. Like it's, it doesn't sound like a ton of food, but dude, like it's gonna be 4 or 5 hours straight of just nonstop like work. And it is fucking exhausting to cook, especially if it's just one person. Like Stevie's not well. I can't ask him. Christine, I've asked her, and she's trying to learn like all the different things, which is cool because she obviously sees the potential in it too, but she's not ready to just go right into action. And like respectfully, I wouldn't put her in that position. But yeah, I think once everybody is feeling good, our synergy will be good, and we'll be able to fucking like have amazing pizza pop-ups. Let's just say that. All right, so what else did we do? Since we were out at my parents' house, we were taking walks, going out in nature. That was nice. Just kind of just enjoying the moment. I feel like I beat myself up a lot when I'm not working all the time. Like I just get like, maybe it's anxious energy or something, but I just feel like if I'm not doing something, I feel like I'm just wasting time. Like, and it's even kind of gotten in the way of me like just watching a movie or TV. Like I kind of go through phases, but right now it's that kind of like, what are you fucking doing? Like you need to work more, kind of beating myself up. And like, I don't mind doing that because I like to stay on the grind or whatever you want to call it. But you do want to avoid burning out. And like one thing that I like about this podcast is like I've never felt burnt out doing it. It's consistent. It's once a week. I enjoy this. To me is more relaxing than say like a hot fucking bubble bath, whatever you want to use. Put the picture in your mind. But whatever that like thing is that you do to relax, like this doesn't stress me out at all. I just like, fuck yeah, I gotta go on the mic and talk, and I just like it. But yeah, that being said, yeah, I don't even know what I was fucking saying. I think I lost my train of thought, which whatever. What else did we do this week? Okay, like I was saying, now I remember. It's like talking about slowing down, right? Taking the moment. We even like we're talking about like living situation. We're like, like maybe it is our house we're living at that is stressing Stevie out. And perhaps it is, but we don't know for sure, right? So we were looking around, we've been like kind of like low-key house shopping. We've been doing it all year. But this was the first time in like probably 3 or 4 months we actually went out and looked at a house. Like we were looking at houses even last year. And it's not like we don't like our house. The house is great. It's just, there's always another place. We've lived here for a few years now. There's equity reasons, a bunch of reasons, right? But that being said, we went out and looked at actually these like luxury condos. And they're kind of on the coastline. And I didn't think like I was going to like them at all. Like I got a call. My parents were like, you should come check out these like model homes over, in this neighborhood. I'm like, okay. So they did it. And then the next day we were like, fuck it, we'll go check them out. So the next day after they'd seen them, we went over and dude, they were surprisingly nice. Like I was blown away. Like quite frankly, just blown away. They were like a 3-story, like almost like a triple decker loft living situation. It was super urban, super city, something you'd see in like Chicago or maybe even like a fucking brownstone-esque in New York. Obviously they didn't have that same, worldly history, but really well built, really well designed. Some of them had storefront at the bottom. So I could literally, if I like lived there hypothetically, put like any type of business down there, even a fucking pizza place, whatever you want, or rent it out, get some passive income. The situation was ideal. Then across, they had like bigger models. They didn't have the storefront, but they were more luxurious living, like almost like penthouse-esque. But once again, that kind of like 3-story living. And surprisingly, I could see myself living there. Not even surprisingly. It's just like, okay, like, so it's like near like not like a strip mall, but like like there's like a Target and an REI. There's a bunch of different shit in this parking lot, right? And it's like, these are dope, but you're going to be living right next to that. And it's not even that that's a bad thing, but it's like for like $1.5 million. It's like, well, fuck, like you could go down, like, let's say in my area, Highway 68 and find something for $1.5 million in a very safe, nice country, quaint neighborhood. But I don't know. There was massive appeal of living in the situation. Once you're inside the condo, like you have views of the ocean, the dunes, like the sand dunes. And once you're in it, it's kind of like, fuck it. It's pretty nice. And I don't know. I think it's just like, we've been talking a lot about like, not just like maybe buying another asset or like moving our asset to another one, but also thinking about maybe like, do we go back to LA? Do we try a new city? What do we do next? Especially in 2026. And like, I think Stevie's health will get better and he'll be fine. And by then, we have like the winter to kind of figure it out. But like, I don't know. Like, I think this has been a big growth spurt moment this year. I think something else I thought I was going to get, the condos are dope, right? But something I've been thinking about a lot lately is like, oh, fuck. Like, I feel like I've wasted a lot of time this year, but I haven't. I've built the podcast. I've worked on myself just in general, just trying to improve my well-being, my life, my work. I've been able to balance all my creative pursuits without feeling like I'm being drowned by one at a time. Like, because I used to be an all or nothing kind of guy. Like if I just like Peninsula Nights, it was all or nothing, Peninsula Nights or nothing else. And I'm realizing that I am way more capable than I thought of balancing multiple things, from Secret Pizza, podcast, writing every day, just fucking making money, etc. You can do it. It's not hard, but yeah, it's just made me realize that there's a lot of other things out there that I could be doing, and just getting on that path and staying consistent has been largely, I think, due to the podcast. Like just being able to come and do this once a week has given me perspective that like, oh, I can like do this show. And I mean, this is more insight to how I produce it, but I can do this show in like a couple hours. I wake up on Monday morning, fucking get ready, sit down, record it, like everything's set up. I do a little like one sheet fucking, just for like my notes. And then I kind of just go off the cuff. But besides the point, it's shown me that if you just show up and do the fucking work, that this will, it's evolved so much since the first one. This is number 36 today. Once again, we're encroaching in on 100. I mean, we're not halfway there yet, but it's like insight. And I don't know, it's just showing me that there's so much more I can do, which whether that be living situation or this or that, my big goal this past, year, like I was saying, was to make a movie. And like, I feel like I got like Stevie's health issue was obviously a speed bump, but it's not his fault entirely. There's other things going on. And it's like, fuck, the next movie will happen when the time is right. Right. And I think that I'm always working towards that, but like having the podcast, writing, talking with friends, just planning about the future, it's given me so much more than just focusing on, let's say, just the movie. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make, is I used to be very one-track mindset, and I've been able to expand my mind and not compartmentalize, but be able to juggle, per se, mentally juggle different things. And I think, honestly, like, it's helped me, too, because, like, the small task, like, let's say, like, okay, I wanted to make the hat. I made the hat for fun, mostly, right? For the Secret Pizza hat. But it was something that I was like, you know what? If I can just do this one thing, I'm going to feel a little bit of accomplishment. Like I got a little closer to my goal. It got a little bit more real. And that's exactly how it felt. Like I was like, okay, it's a small little fucking touchdown in the game of life, but it's what keeps you going, right? Yeah, it's just consistency. I guess that is the thing. And the podcast has been extremely consistent. And it's just, helped shape, I guess, a schedule for me that's really healthy. And I think it's all good. I think all the things I've been doing are good. Like I said, we've been talking about moving, other things in life. I think we've not, I wouldn't say outgrown where we're at, but there's just so much more out there and we're hungry to get it. Christine's even been doing castings. She got a C-mail the other day, which if you don't know, it's like a casting email directly from a casting director, which you do a ton of cold auditions. But when you do get one of these legitimate C-mails where they're reaching out to you, it's a big deal. It means that they've seen you in something, or they're like, hey, make sure she gets this so she can be seen. And I'm wishing her the best of luck. It's from a pretty solid casting director's assistant. I can't remember what they did. She was telling me about it. Oh, fuck. She's going to be pissed. But you know what? Congrats, Christine. I think it's really good moving forward. And once again, just consistency, she sends out a lot of castings, but it's not every day. And when she does do them, they're selective and she's trying to get roles that she sees herself in. And it's smart. She's doing a very educated approach to it, but it's just, once again, might not be every day, but it's consistent. Hey, that dream is still fucking, the fire's still burning. You keep sending that shit out. And I think that's one of the most important things about anything you're doing is even I always look at my pedometer on my phone, right? And my pedometer will say some days I'm at 20,000 steps. I'm like, dude, you're fucking killing it. 5, 6, 7 days in a row. I'm like, dude, this week was insane. I walked off 2,000 or 3,000 calories just walking passively, and then plus the residual of that. But then you'll see it's green bars on my app, and then it'll show yellow, and then it'll show red. There's some days where I don't walk more than 3,000 or 4,000 steps because my body hurts. I'm just fuck it, I need a break. But I think that is what consistency really looks like. It's not just all green bars all the time. It's green bars, orange bars, red, orange, green, looks like a fucking cell phone signal. But that's what consistency is continuing to try even when you're tired or burnt out. Make sure you fucking take care of yourself and focus on wellness. But yeah, and I think if I could tie that into the theme of probably this episode and just my life right now, is just focusing on feeling good. Stevie's health problem, sure, he needs to focus on feeling good. Me trying to walk and do my own health shit and just focus on the podcast, consistency. Not every week's perfect. I have my fucking good days, bad days, up, down, all fucking around, right? But that's really life in general. Christine sending out the castings. It's consistent, It's funny too. We came home from Indian Springs. There's a big box on the porch, and Christina got sent product for her influencer shit by some company that she's been doing I think noodle reviews for fucking Korean companies. And they're just we love the last video. Here's more shit. So just her taking action and buying this first box of noodles or whatever, or even just making the video has attracted the people she wants to see it the most. And that's, I don't know, consistency in showing up will not only help you, but it'll help attract the people you want to attract. And that's what I've also noticed lately, even with the podcast, is it's not just friends or people I haven't seen in a long time. There's been people following me on Instagram through just the podcast and ads. I do run a lot of ads, which is important if you're a creator. You know, you get your face out there. But like, it's reaching people that I could have never reached otherwise. And like, sometimes I'll get a surprising follow. I'm like, oh fuck, like I can't believe this person just followed me. And not in like, oh my god, like, but it's just like, and it's not even like somebody like famous. It's just like, oh, an entertainment lawyer followed me. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Why would they follow me unless they had some sort of interest in what I'm doing, right? And I don't know. It's all this shit is starting to snowball, and I can really feel it lately. And it's good. And I think that's kind of like, dude, you got to just put yourself out there and not be afraid to make the move. There is no right time. The right time is now. Like, and if you're really sitting around waiting, thinking like, why haven't I had success doing what I'm doing? Or why is shit not working? It's like, once again, it's probably you. Circumstances and environment, that does dictate a lot. I've been thinking a lot about environment lately myself. Just like, am I in the best optimal position to get the most out of my goals and what I'm doing right now? Don't get me wrong. I like living in Monterey County. Salinas isn't the worst place, but you know, I think like we've all outgrown it to some extent. We all feel like, hey, it's time to make that leap to, you know, I've gone to the city before and I've done that. And like, I did have a lot of success down there when I was doing it, but it's just been a minute. You know, COVID really knocked that out. It was tough. You don't want to be, in my opinion, you didn't want to be in LA during that time, but it's besides the point. I think, you know, we're in this growth spurt period and, it's all snowballed and it's all coming together, but it's just, you know, it's kind of not even a matter of time situation. It's just pushing forward and seeing where this all leads. What else did I do this week? I ended up having a good FaceTime call with my buddy Anthony. It was Stevie, Anthony, and I. Just shot the shit, talked about, you know, life in general. And it was funny. It was probably like dude, I felt so bad. This guy gets home from a walk and it's got to be 11 or fucking, I don't know what time it was in Ireland. It was probably late, buddy. Sorry. But he FaceTimes me. We're talking, gets back from his walk. His dad's like eating like, I don't know, salmon or some shit. And then he's fucking, you know, goes to his room to like FT. And we're sitting there and like, it's got to be like 2 hours. I'll check the fucking timestamp. And at the end, he's like, well, I'm going to go eat. I'm just like, fuck, man, did you come home from a walk and we starved this man for 2 hours having this conversation? And anyways, it was just funny. That's what I thought of after. But the call was great. And after I was just like, dude, like we just got to fucking, when he's back in the States, like we're just going to, you know, try and bang out like another podcast show or something and just figure something out. Cause the conversation was good and it was meaningful. And like, I feel like that's really the thing too, is like, I love doing the solo pod. Like I'll always do this, but it is nice to have like engaging conversations with people. And like podcasts are extremely like, you're giving a lot of attention at once to something that you wouldn't normally do. And especially in this day and age, like, you know, we're on our phones, we're fucking Netflixing and fucking chilling all day. People are just not, like, social shit has changed. And yeah, everybody goes out and we do shit. But like, you know, for the most part, when you're home alone or just at home, you're at home. It's a different lifestyle than it was a couple years ago. If you hear someone knock at your door these days, you're probably like, who the fuck is that? I remember when I was a kid, I go knock on anybody's fucking door and be like, yo, is Kyle here or whoever the fuck? But besides the point, the actual engaging conversation is something I really miss. I don't think it's even like a verbal joust or a debate. It's not that at all. It's just sharing thoughts, ideas, legitimate conversation, you know, as opposed to just like small talk. And it's really fun. It's really, you know, I think it's fucking super good for your mind and your brain. And it challenges you to think differently. You know, other people don't think like you. And that's actually a good thing. You shouldn't, if everybody thought the same, what a fucking boring world it would be. And I don't know, it's just fun. It was a good conversation. I think we're going to definitely work on something here in the near future. It's just a matter of timing. And like, I feel like, you know, we're getting towards the end of the year. I wouldn't say things have slowed down yet for us quite like with work and like, you know, other businesses, but yeah, you can feel it. There's a legitimate change in the air too. Like it's supposed to pour today. That's why I got up super early to do this one. And also I'm sure you can fucking hear it. These lawn people, like I swear there's not a good time. When I get the fucking chance, I'm moving this thing to another spot because I'm just going to power through. If it's bothering you, sorry, but fuck. But anyways, yeah, you know, it's almost the end of the year. We're almost there. The holidays are, you know, I don't care who you are, dude. The holidays is slow down time. Like it's time to just fucking take like that last month of the year off and just take it easy. Pretty much from Thanksgiving on, I check out. Not check out in terms of like mentally or like work wise, but like I don't mind just sitting around and like hanging out by the fire and the fucking Christmas tree and watching fucking movies and just enjoying it. It's such a good time of the year. Such a good time of the year. And dude, our family, like we'll do puzzles, like 1,000-piece puzzles. We don't give a fuck. Like we'll spend 3 days camping out at my parents' house doing a puzzle and eating fucking C's candy and just chilling, you know? Sounds good. I feel like I want to be that picture of the kid from Home Alone fucking Kevin in the backseat of the limo with the pizzas and the champagne. He's probably got fucking apple juice, but that's what I want to be right now. I want to be in that moment. And I think it's coming soon. We got the holidays right around the corner. And yeah, but anyways, it was good talking with Anthony. It was good scheming up and planning and thinking about the future, which actually brings me to another point. So I've been trying to build another set, been trying to get Watch Party off the ground. The real problem is, like, once again, like, Stevie's not feeling well. Christine and I could do probably a great episode, but it's going to be better with the three. I just know the rapport we have when we talk about movies. Everybody has a great opinion. And that's something that it's not on the back burner, but like, look, I've got all gas, no brakes. I'd love to do it, but timing, once again. So that's either going to come soon or at the turn of the year. But I've really thought the next thing to like naturally do on this show is to start interviewing people. And it's not like I've been avoiding it. I just feel like I really wanted to figure out what the show is. And now that I feel like I've got my own vibe of like culture and philosophy and movies and life and just fucking everything, you know, I want the show to be about everything. I don't want it to be limited to just, obviously, like, my point of reference is pop culture and film. And I think it's nice because I'm able to weave and intertwine that into a philosophical way, or maybe even just like a social commentary that for me helps me express how I'm feeling, or maybe it's relatable to you as well. And I think it is because viewership had a nice bump this week. And like, I think the message is resonating, but there's so many interesting people out there, probably even far more interesting than me. Right. And I'd like to talk to them and just see what they have to say. And like, I think when you start any podcast, your expectations are like, well, I want to get, a good guest or somebody who's like crazy. It's even like when you're making a movie, people are like, well, we got to get a movie star in it. Well, it's like, I've explored those options. Those are expensive options. They can sometimes be massive roadblocks if you're not careful, and you don't want that. I don't like to waste time. I just want to get started, right? And I think getting started is the best way to get ahead. And that being said, that's why I'm like, okay, fuck it. I'm opening Unscripted up to interviews. Now, the reason I brought up building the Watch Party set is that like across from me here in this like space, I do have another wall that I've been like, well, that'll be the other set for interviews. It's just not coming together out here. And I was looking at my kitchen and I've got this nice round table, this glass window, and it's very natural looking. It's not the same as the brick wall, but you know what? I was like, fuck it. I think that this is where I'm going to just start doing interviews, because for now, it's really just a matter of doing it. And yeah, so I've been like setting that up. It's really coming down to just booking out some interviews and just fucking, doing it. And like, I haven't really interviewed anyone. I mean, maybe I've done it casually or just like, through whatever, just talking to people, but I think it'll be interesting and I think it'll be really fun. I've actually been interviewed once. I got interviewed by this lady, Jan Price. Yeah, I've probably done other interviews before that, but this interview was with her and she's really cool. She's this great podcaster. It's actually the first podcast I ever guest spotted on, and it went so well with her, just like 'cause she was so great too. It was a big reason I was like, fuck, I think I could do this. Cause I've listened to it back and I'm like, oh God, hold on, let me get a sip. I've listened back to the podcast and I was like, yeah, this, what was I so afraid of, doing that? And I don't know. I think it's just, it's kind of like mind over matter. I think anything seems scary until you do it. And then doing it scared is, just part of that, and that should, if you don't feel anything when you're doing something, that might, I don't know, you should feel something, right? Maybe a little scared or nervous or anxious, or otherwise it probably wouldn't be worth doing. And it just would be like, okay, well, it's just not that big of a deal. Fuck it, just do it. But anyways, yeah, a lot to come down the pipeline. Just been thinking a lot about, where do I want to take the podcast? And like, I also think like maybe, and this is me more just like, God, sorry, I got something stuck. This is me just more speaking out loud, but ideally in a perfect world, I could just do the solo pod on Monday, friends podcast on Wednesdays. And I mean like even Unscripted expanded to like where there's, a group of us just talking, and then Fridays interviews, because I feel like, people want to hear people talk to other people more. I mean, when I go to watch a podcast, like there's some podcasters I enjoy their like solo rant, like Doug Ellen, Theo Vaughn's been putting out some solo kind of pods lately, and they're honestly great. Like I actually might like them better than his interviews, but generally when I'm looking up a pod, I'm looking for like two people talking. Wouldn't you say? I mean, I think that's what most people want to see. And like, yeah, I mean, I was even listening to a podcast earlier. It was Rogan talking to like an ex-CIA. I don't even know what he did, whatever, some fucking high position. And like, he got accused of like all the shit that went on and with torture and stuff in the early 2000s. It was just like, fuck, like I wasn't looking for this, but like it found me and I was like, this is crazy. Like just hearing that perspective, I think it's a lot more interesting perhaps than just like Joe talking for like fucking 2 hours or 3 hours. Sure, I don't even think he would do a show that long, with that in mind. But anyways, besides the point, interviews coming soon. If you want to be on the show, DM me or email me at devinthomasfilm at gmail.com, and we'll set something up. If I feel like it's something that'll be a good conversation, yeah. And I welcome all to reach out, and yeah, we'll be doing them right here in the house. Honestly, we'll be doing them in the kitchen, and we'll talk, and I think it'll be good for everyone, good for you, good for me, and we can, share the fucking conversation with everyone. What else went on this week? So yeah, been hanging out, chilling in Indian Springs, parents' neighborhood. Beautiful out there. There's nice equestrian quarters. You can see the horses run. Saw a coyote, fucking turkey come up every day on the lawn. It's insane. Like, I see bucks, fucking everything, dude. Oh, also this week, this is more in town. I'll get back to Indian Springs, but went on a walk on like Monday morning last week. Maybe it was last Monday. Maybe it was after the pod, or maybe it was last Tuesday. It just rained a little the night before, and I was walking across my street, and there was just a gigantic hawk right in front of me. Huge. I guess it's a red-tailed hawk. I looked it up after, but it was sitting in like the gutter. And at first I thought this bird was injured. It spooked me at first. It was like, holy shit, it's a huge bird up close. Like, you don't really get that close to a hawk. I looked at it, looked at me, and it was very like we were just looking at each other. We had like a moment. And then I kind of got my phone out like every fucking person in the world. I'm like, I'm going to record this, take some pictures. And dude, I got pretty close. And like, I kind of talked to it, like whatever, like fucking the soft animal voice, like, hey, like, da. And it kind of hopped up onto the curb and then backed up a little, and it kind of like fluttered the fucking wings. And I was just like, wow, this is a crazy animal. Like, and then eventually like it just flew up into the tree and it just stared at me. But I was just like, wow, like what was it doing in the gutter? Cause like first, like I said, I thought it was injured, and then it flew up into the tree, and I don't know, like it was just an interesting experience. I think animals are super spiritual creatures, even like the wild ones that you can't really, be next to or whatever because of whatever. I actually in my mind was thinking like, this thing's got talons, it's got a huge beak. I might not want to try and pet it like an idiot and get my finger fucking broken. Won't be able to press fucking record on a camera for a year. And then I was also like thinking like, I don't know, it could fuck your face up if those little talons get up in you. But it was a nice moment. And honestly, I was just like, wow, I can't believe like in town, I'm getting this like close to nature, which you'd be surprised. There's like raccoons, there's everything in town, possums. I just never thought that when I was moving into town that there'd be as much wildlife as a countryside, but there is, if not more sometimes. But anyways, it was a really unique moment with the hawk. I was, I don't know, it was cool. And then like my mom came to my house to pick up Christine to go work out, and fucking as she was leaving the house, she said she saw the hawk fly across the street and he was never seen again. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, it was just an interesting experience. But anyways, going out to Indian Springs, hanging out in nature. It's very quiet. There's no white noise ambiance of the city, cars driving, ambulances, all that bullshit. You're really back in nature. The sky's darker. You can see the fucking stars. It's like, it's not even, maybe 10 miles away from my other residence. So anyways, we've been there hanging out with my dad too. I mean, my dad's like a musician and he's retired now. So he just hangs out and chills in the garage and fucking plays guitar all day long. He's a nut, dude. He loves collecting equipment. Every time I go there, there's a new instrument or whatever, dude. Gearhead, probably where we got it. But yeah, and he's like tricked out his garage. It looks like fucking a Nashville bar in there. Neon everywhere. All the accommodations one could need. He's a very over-accommodating person, and I mean that in a good way. But yeah, it's been cool. I've also been just jamming out there, playing music. It's been kind of like I said, it was a very relaxing week. I kind of got back to my I wouldn't say my old life, but the roots of just like, before you try and do something creative, like seriously, like filmmaking or writing, directing, acting, whatever, you're just kind of hanging out in life. You're like, fuck it, make a little money, hang out. And like, I think something in my brain broke when I made the movie and like actually went out, Q&A'd it, success, theatrical release. It just made me think like there's just no way I could go back to what I was doing before. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but it has also been a little bit of a stressful thing because I've seen the potential and like, I don't want it to run away from me. I don't want to get comfortable again, like how I was, in the past. And I think having this little like downtime this year, cause like Stevie and I, we were like, dude, we'll make 5 fucking movies a year. We are ready to go to war with fucking Hollywood or just filmmaking, just take over the indie scene. And we still plan to, but until he feels better, it's been a little bit, like I said, like a roadblock, but it was good to slow down. It was good to chill. I even texted Anthony. I'm like, God, I kind of feel bad. Like I was gone all fucking day and I didn't get anything done. He's like, bro, maybe you should just fucking enjoy yourself and chill out with the family. It's important. I'm like, you're right. And I think, sometimes we beat ourselves up. I think like also it's just like, I really don't want the, window of opportunity to close. I don't want the moment to pass. Like I'm not taking it too serious, but I'm also like, hey, like you got to take it serious enough where you're actually trying and treating it like a job. And I treat it like a career. I really do. And slowing down this week and jamming and just, puffing a little reefer, doing all those things, it made me feel relaxed back at like maybe a place where I was a little more youthful. I don't think it's the right word. I don't know. It was almost nostalgic. It was just nice. It was a change of pace. Change of pace. That's the right word rather. It was a change of pace. I slowed down for a minute, enjoyed myself, which actually brings me into the next thing. Since Stevie and Christine have mostly been staying over there and I've been here at the house, like, yeah, like movies are fun to watch alone, but I watch movies with people. I have talked about this, like communal watching. I like looking over at somebody else in the movie and you just kind of have that moment. Like, yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, it's just fun. And like, I don't know. That's like even why I want to make watch party. It's like, it's just fun to talk about the movie. They don't make them for like just people to watch alone and just never talk to someone else about it. It's meant to create a fucking, conversation. And we ended up, I think this was 2 nights ago. I ended up staying there super late. Went back to the house around like 8:30. I had to drop Stevie off. And we ended up throwing on Signs on YouTube just casually. I love Signs. I love M. Night. I think he's got a great, filmography. And Signs, I've always thought was like one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Probably because I saw it also at a very impressionable age. Whenever it came out in 2002, I saw it. So I think it was 9. It's pretty young to see that movie because it's fucking, like, objectively speaking, it's pretty scary. It's also a thriller. The score is super fucking scary. M. Night uses sound so well in the movie. We'll get into that. But throw Signs on YouTube, free. Like I said, who gives a fuck where it's streaming these days? Netflix, Apple TV, YouTube. I'll watch it where I see it. We were like going through movies. I'm like, fuck, it's Signs. He's like, Signs? Well, yeah, Signs sounds good. Like, just throw that motherfucker on. Watching Signs, immediately it starts with this just intense score. It's very Hitchcockian, almost like Psycho-esque. Just big fucking strings like, brum, 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 brum. And I was just like, wow. I was like, this is like already making my heart fucking race just hearing this. And then it goes into this very peaceful, calm, farmland. It's Mel Gibson, Joaquin Phoenix. His kids are Abigail Breslin and Rory Culkin. And like I said, the movie came out in 2002, so you got this crisp 35 millimeter look, shot on probably Panavision. I didn't even look up the kit on this one. I mean, I've seen the movie 100 times, but revisiting it now and just kind of watching it with fresh eyes, especially more mature filmmaking eyes, very classically shot. M. Night's a lot, like I'm not comparing myself, but like I like really am just like A, B, like back, forth here. Let's get that C shot. Very traditional filmmaking, which is like what a lot of the greats do. They just like, I was watching a lot of Chris Nolan this last week and like, dude, they're not overcomplicating it. Most scenes could be shot just anywhere. It's really like words on a page. And then you're like, how do I get this information out? It's really environments, like your set, whatever. Like they're in a farmhouse. That's where they're talking, right? If this movie took place on Pluto, you'd have backgrounds of Pluto. I get what, maybe it's not making sense, but like, it doesn't really fucking matter. Imagine everything's a green screen. You're just popping in backgrounds. That's really what I think like sometimes about filmmaking, because most of this shit's going to be out of focus and the backgrounds at least. But anyways, the movie starts, beautiful photography. I think the DP's name was Tak Fujimoto. I think that was his name, and he had shot some other hits. He's pretty good, honestly. Like the cinematography was absolutely amazing. But besides the point, the script, wow. Like the movie starts and like watching it now more mature, I really saw, like I say this every time, maybe it's because I've written so many scripts now, but like I really saw the screenplay. I saw the underlying themes. I saw the character arc. It was incredible. Mel Gibson's character plays a former Episcopal father, a priest, right? And his wife has died a few months before the movie takes place, killed by a man who fell asleep behind the wheel, and who's actually played by M. Night. And he has renounced his faith. He doesn't believe in God anymore. And when they don't unveil all this information at once. I'm giving you kind of the whole thing up front. But as he goes around town, you hear people saying like, can I confess to you? I need to get something off my chest. And he's like, I'm not a father anymore. Like, I don't believe, I don't practice. Right. And we see throughout the story why he's renounced his faith. We also see a lot of visual indications. Like there's like a really beautiful shot when Mel Gibson's in his bedroom, and on the back of his wall is just the outline of a cross where like it's not a cross, but there used to be one there. And it's just dust marks and fade marks. Like the paint has faded around it, but the underneath you can still see the distinct outline of it's a very large cross. And it's something I never noticed before. Maybe it was the mind of a younger person. I was like, oh, whatever, he's a father, right? But I saw it now as like a literal like visual motif to just say like, hey, he used to really fucking believe. He believed so long, he had that cross up there for a long time. and he's taken it down. That's how much he doesn't believe now. And as the movie goes on, Mel Gibson's very bitter towards life. He's a little cynical, but he tries to still comfort his kids and his brother, Joaquin, who's like a former kind of like a high school, college prospect for baseball. And we see, and he has his own arc, and same with the kids. Everybody has their own arc. But we see Mel Gibson's character, particularly as he is the protagonist of the story, go from a man who has renounced his faith completely. And when he is asked even by his brother to comfort him when these aliens start invading, he gives him a speech about there's two types of people and, believers, non-believers, whatever. And he comforts the brother. And then at the end, he just tells him straight up, like, there's no one looking out for us. Like, there's nothing like the universe. There's no God, basically. He kind of gives him the whole, there's no God, more of the agnostic or atheist perspective on life. And when it gets towards the end of the movie, you see why is that his wife, when she was killed, like, it just made him just not believe anymore. He's like, if there was a God, why would he take my wife away from me? If I'm such a righteous man, why would he let some guy who fell asleep behind the wheel, wasn't even a drunk driving accident, just passed out, crash into her? It was just really like, I get why he walked away from like his beliefs in the church and his even practice of faith. And that's really what the movie's about. They parallel his belief and fear of life and God and existence with the aliens coming, right? Because he thinks that the aliens are a sure sign that, like, if there was a God, then like he wouldn't let this happen even so. And anyways, his character arc really comes that towards the end of the film, he's able to survive like the fucking invasion. They figure out a way to kill him. Also, his wife's last words were like swing away or something. And it had like something to do with Joaquin's character in baseball. And like, it helped him save like the day at the end. Oh, I remember why he reinstills his faith. Is he prays because his son gets like gassed by this alien. I guess that's like the alien's technique to kill people, right? And this is like the minutia you forget when you go to watch a movie again. And anyways, the son, Rory Culkin, is presumably dead, right? They say that's how a lot of people were killed on Earth when these aliens invaded. And now he goes outside and he's with Joaquin and Abigail Breslin and they're holding the son. He just, he literally prays for the first time. He's like, hey, like, save my fucking son. And then the kid, says what happens. He comes back to, there's a beat, where everyone thinks he's dead. And then he just says, oh, like, did you save me? He says someone did. And it's powerful because obviously he's talking about God, a higher power. And it hits hard, and like, I'm not surprised Mel Gibson took this role because he is such a, this guy directed Passion of the Christ. He's a devout Catholic. But besides the point, the character was so believable, so good. And regardless of what you think of Mel Gibson, like from fucking his like personal life, the dude's a phenomenal actor. I actually think it's strange somebody like Mel Gibson got into acting because he looks like so many dads or like adult men I grew up like just seeing. Like the guy who would own the lake house and would take you to the fucking lake. Stevie and I were talking about this, and it's like he is so unconventional to be an actor. It is just like he looks like he would work at a fucking hedge fund or like own a construction company. What is he doing in acting? But dude, he is fucking good. And Signs, I like Mel Gibson in a lot of movies. Like one of my favorite movies is The Patriot. I thought he was phenomenal in that. God, he's in, Mad Max. He's in so many fucking hits. But the Lethal Weapon movies. But this movie particularly, like on an emotional level, there was something else going on. Maybe he really embodied the character or maybe he really believed in it, but it was fucking powerful. And I had not seen the movie in a bit. I usually watch Signs like maybe like once a year. It's not a movie like I forget about. I'm like, oh yeah, Signs. Like, and also if we're going to talk about alien movies, not just Mel Gibson's performance, Joaquin also really fucking good. He played an extremely believable brother and like their rapport and relationship was good. Also, to note, M. Night Shyamalan's character in the film where he plays the cameo of the guy who killed Mel Gibson's wife, his name's Ray in the movie. Fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic. Like it's such a small, powerful cameo, but for a writer-director to come in and just position himself in a role like that and not do it just for the sake of. He really like brought a nice emotional weight to the moments. His acting is good. I just watched Trap probably about a year ago now, but with Josh Hartnett, and M. Night directed that as well, and it's got M. Night's daughter and a bunch of cool shit going on in it. But M. Night plays a character in that as well who's kind of like, he literally plays, I think, the uncle of the performer trying to like, whatever. And Josh Hartnett wants to get tickets, but it's cool. It's like a small part of the movie, and he's always very punctual when he's in a film. It's cool. And it's something I like doing too as a writer-director is like popping into the movie for a moment. If you've seen P-Nights, you've seen my cameo. And yeah, it's always fun. And people are always like, it's kind of like, oh shit, there he is. It's a good way to do it. But yeah, Signs was really fucking good. I think it's up there with like top list of alien films. I kind of wrote down a list here. Yeah, so like, dude, what alien movies come to mind for you? For me, I always think of fucking War of the Worlds, Steven Spielberg, with Tom Cruise. That movie scared the fuck out of me too. Honestly, I think War of the Worlds, like, it may be one of the scariest movies I've ever seen as well. And maybe I'm just really freaked out by the idea of an alien invasion. Like, the idea of extraterrestrial life doesn't scare me because I think there 100 fucking percent is aliens out there. We're just too far to communicate with these people. Technology hasn't caught up, or they've seen us and they've been like, fuck that, and they've just driven the other way. But there's no doubt in my mind. Like, I always thought too, this is so conspiracy. I'm gonna sound like such a fucking nut, but like, don't you think that people might have just not come from here? Like, isn't there a possibility that our planet was like the planet that all science fiction stories say, like, we're gonna go repopulate a planet? It's like, who's to say fucking Earth wasn't that perfect environment? They're like, our people could live here, you know? And yeah, that's another, for another time. If I had somebody else here, we could just talk about that shit and fucking get real conspiracy. But yeah, War of the Worlds, very fucking scary. District 9, I didn't think that for me like was like the defining alien movie. I think it was popular at the time for the effects. E.T., it's good, but like E.T. is not, it's not in the caliber of say Signs. And like, I'm not hating on E.T. and like, Spielberg made War of the Worlds as well, but War of the Worlds is definitely more like it's like Close Encounters. It's like, it's good, but like for me it was never premium alien film. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I think it's really the intro for me, but that like really sells you a lot of alien lore and like Area 51. It's all the shit people want to fucking see and know about. And they happen to make it based around like the alien, ideology of Area 51. Fire in the Sky, I respect the story. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's about those guys in Arizona that claim that one of their friends got abducted. Who knows the truth? I, I'm skeptical on that one myself, even though it's kind of like one of the greatest abduction stories of all time. The movie really plays on like whether there was truth to it or not. And like the movie, like low key, like I think at the time might have been a big deal because of like the cultural impact, but it's a boring film. Like I've seen it many times and it really is like a lot of flashbacks, guys sitting at a bar. I'm not hating on it. I appreciate it for what it is, but for me, I feel like it's a little dry. And then of course, like the Alien trilogy. Yeah, like the alien movies aren't really about an alien invasion. They're about a fucking like xenomorph they find on a different planet. So for me, in those movies, I hold in extremely high regard. All of them, even the fucking more recent Ridley Scott spin-off films. Like people might not like them, but they're part of the they're part of the not even trilogy. They're part of the saga per se. And I watch them for what they're worth. And sometimes I kind of like, I wouldn't say go canon or non-canon, but I'm like, I'm not going to recognize this part of it as much as I'm going to recognize this other thing. So, but yeah, like the Alien trilogy, that's so different than say like Signs or fucking War of the Worlds when aliens are coming to Earth or even District 9. It's different. And I think that if we're talking about just specifically like alien invasion movies or alien, like, kind of like thriller building up to like, are they amongst us? I think that takes the case. There's also movies like Mars Attack where like they kind of showcase in a more parody way. I think it's a Tim Burton movie as well, where like aliens are like seeping into government and shit. And there's, I don't think the movie Society is quite like this, but it's similar. That movie's disgusting. I probably would never watch it again. But where there's like, not like Skinwalker type shit, but like that thing where they're like lizard people, whatever, already living amongst us. And like, I think that's all like, big conjecture and conspiracy. I personally haven't really looked down that rabbit hole. I know some people that are into like the alien shit and like, you don't know that. And it's like, I don't know. It sounds a little cuckoo to me, but what do I fucking know? Right. One other movie I watched because I was watching that Charlie Sheen doc and there's just been so much Charlie Sheen shit on all the streaming services. He's clearly trying to make a comeback. I think he just signed with William Morris or maybe it was CAA, but I saw a post and I was like, of course, like welcome back, and I'm not saying that in a rude way, but it's like, what do you expect? He's cleaned up his act. He's worth a lot of money and he's going to make people a lot of money. They're going to take him back. But I ended up watching another movie about aliens called The Arrival, 1996 with Charlie Sheen. And it was interesting. He plays like a satellite technician and he keeps finding the signal. And basically once he records it, he takes it to his boss and his boss like is like, I'll get this to the right people and like snaps it in half and then he gets fired and canned. And it kind of implies that basically he is onto something that's bigger and he continues to look and he ends up teaming up with this little kid, the neighbor kid who's in town for the summer, and his girlfriend who's fucking Pam from Meet the Parents. It was so random. Hadn't seen her in anything else ever. And I was like, oh, there's Pam. But anyways, the story's kind of like, I won't ruin it, but like it's his looking into this like conspiracy that his own job and like work is trying to cover up the fact that there's already like aliens amongst us and they're harvesting the earth for like this power. And like these movies always have some of the similar things, like they're coming for resources or energy or for people or to harvest people, whatever, or to take over the planet. They have a motive, right? And The Arrival was good, but it's once again, it was I wouldn't even call it like a little bit more B. It was extremely well made, but like it's dated and it doesn't have the same impact, say like movies in that War of the Worlds and Signs era, the early 2000s and like late 90s, going even that late 90s because the Arrival's 1996. Like maybe I can't say this. Post 2000, maybe 1999 on, movies got so good, and they were so good till probably like 2015, maybe a little after that. But like they have kind of fizzled off. Like I think COVID, like I keep talking about COVID. I hate talking about it, but like I think it really did like kind of nuked the business because everybody's like, well, we're gonna try a new approach, and the new approach has been hits and misses. But fuck, like we literally, Stevie and I talked about it after watching Signs. We're like, this was so fucking good. Like I didn't want to leave. I stayed all the way till the movie was over. Never got out of my seat. Maybe once to go and grab some water or something. It was incredible. And I don't know. They don't make them like they used to. And M. Night, he's a true talent. He's real fucking good, man. And if you haven't checked out his movies, check them out. They're all good. You know, some of them are a little bit more wonky than the next, but he's a consistent filmmaker and he just keeps kicking ass. And he's also done some like independent financing. I think he was talking about Trap. Like he wanted to make the movie and nobody wanted to make it. And I think he like liquidated some fucking homes he owned or something just to finance it. Maybe it wasn't that movie, but I'll look it up. But yeah, he's had some like fucking projects where he's had to really like go out and get it. He's not, you hear these names like it's M. Night. Of course anything could happen. You know, even like I've heard Scorsese talk, like I'm afraid that I won't be able to get the next one made. And it's all, for a lot of people, it's all profit. But you know, for the actual people making it, it's all art. And sure, money's nice, but like that's not why we do it. And it hopefully comes with it. But ask any fucking artist out there grinding without a paycheck behind them. They're doing the same thing. They'll tell you I do it because I love it. One other movie I watched, I'll touch base on this one quick. The Girl in Cabin 10. I watched it last night. It was a quick watch, probably an hour and a half, maybe a little longer, but it was Keira Knightley and a couple other actors. Guy Pearce, he was the kind of the villain in the film, but psychological drama, thriller. Really great role for Keira Knightley. She plays a journalist who gets invited on a yacht trip with a philanthropist type fucking family. I guess this guy's wife, Anne, has cancer and she's dying, and the husband wants to set up a fucking society or fucking, you know, whatever, organization in her name. And as they're on the fucking trip, the girl ends up seeing somebody get thrown off the boat, right? Keira Knightley. And she thinks it's this woman that maybe is a prostitute or something. She was just in a cabin. She saw her in there like a little earlier. She went in the wrong room. It was the one next door to her. And she found like cigarette butts rolling from the next room over. And when she tells the staff, they say like, oh, that woman doesn't, no one ever's in that room. And he knows, or she knows rather, that's bullshit. And she kind of goes down the rabbit hole, and I'll let you guys watch it for yourself, but it was good. I was surprised at how good it was. I can't remember the director's name. I think it was Sam Simon or something. He was good. I'm not familiar with his work, but he's mostly a Netflix original director. And I don't know, it kind of restores my faith every now and then. Oh, here's one thing I don't understand about Netflix is everything's a limited series now. Do we need a limited series for every fucking show? Sometimes I'm cool with just watching an hour and a half of a movie and being like, I love that hour and a half. And maybe it's because I like making movies and I don't make shows, but I don't know. It's like House of Guinness. It's like a fucking 8-episode series. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just like, fuck. Like, I think about starting it, I'm like, 8 hours. It's a lot of time to commit, you know? Like, so I don't know. I guess it's neither here nor there. This was a surprisingly good, refreshing movie for a Netflix original. The Girl in Cabin 10. Not bad. Maybe it's The Woman in Cabin 10. I think I might have wrote this down wrong. But regardless, really good. It paid off. It's kind of an eat the rich, like fuck billionaires movie, which I don't always love that angle because I feel like we just have made every rich person out to be like the worst type of fucking person. It's like, yeah, like some people are honest and they're not just fucking maniacal, like Mr. Monocle out there to fucking ruin your day and, you know, whatever. But this one, like the character was clearly bad and his intentions were bad. And I kind of like that. I don't know. It was interesting. If you're looking for something on Netflix to fucking watch, check it out. But yeah, anyways, guys, it was a good week. A lot of reflection, a lot of chilling, a lot of tossing pizzas and fucking hanging out and just kind of getting in. You know, I feel like you can really feel the shift in the seasons, kind of coming in towards the end of the year. And like, you know, I talked with my friend Anthony, I talked with Stevie, Christine, and I think everybody's kind of on the same wavelength. I feel like it's a transitional period of life. If I could cap this on that note, I feel like things are kind of moving in a, maybe not even a new direction, but like there's a change in the wind. I feel like I've been working on a lot of stuff and building towards something new. Not even necessarily something new, but building towards something. And like, it's not just the movies, it's not just the podcast, it's everything, you know? And I think it's all kind of, like I said this earlier, snowballing or accumulating. And I think it's nothing short of just action and hard work. And we've all worked very hard. We've all put in the time. And everybody, I think, is also like mentally or spiritually or even like physically in a place where they feel nothing is really out of reach. And that's a good place to be. I used to think a lot about how like, oh, I couldn't do this or do that. And I kind of said this earlier, but like my capabilities are far greater than I ever imagined. My potential is huge. And this isn't like I sound like I'm jerking myself off on the mic. I'm not trying to make myself sound like the greatest guy ever. I'm just saying like you can recognize these things in yourself in a non-arrogant, grounded way and think like, well, what's next? How can we just take this to the next level and make it great and make it, something that gives you a lot of purpose and intent in life? And that I think is what everybody wants, right? So yeah, I guess keep searching for your fucking purpose and intent and keep working and it'll fucking kind of reveal itself to you. It's an exciting time. I feel like it really is. I got a lot of shit written. I got a lot of plans for like the podcast and talking and just, like I said, expanding and talking to more people. And I think it's really just a matter of time before this thing finds its own way. It's taken a lot of shape over the last few months. And by shape, I mean like, what was the show going to be? Cause I kind of just, like I said, like I kind of was like, fuck it. Like I'm a doer. I just want to start doing it. And now I feel like it's in the place where it's like, I know what this show is. And I know what I'm going to say and how it's going to be, received. And I also see like my viewership, easily 100 a week now, which is cool. And that's not to like share stats, the flex. It's just like, wow, like, thank you, by the way, if you are tuning in or if you're a new person listening, because I know there's been a lot of like, especially through the ads on Instagram, I've had a huge growth in viewership from people I just never thought I would connect with. And it's so cool. And I'm just super appreciative. So I just want to say that to cap this. Been a reflective week, been a relaxing week, been a just nice chance to take a step back with a change of pace and just, focus on myself and just enjoy myself and also just see the growth of the podcast and just, friendships, etc. Everything's happening, I think just as it should be. And I think it's a good place to end this. So guys, I'm Devin Thomas and this is another episode of Unscripted. I will talk to you all next week.